All right, and a very, very good evening, East Africa. Welcome to yet a brand new and also exciting week of the desk. Now more than ever, I'm yours truly, Shadrach Shagaf Kisame. Of course, if it's Wednesday, it's all about the desk here on U24 television, and we trust that every time you watch U24, you're inspired, you're motivated, but above all, you are educated. Like tonight, I'm telling you, it's going to be so educational. Now, for you, the youth that are listening and that are watching, this is for you. Some of you think that government is not doing anything for your interests. They are not policing people who are defrauding and who are corrupt, taking youth projects. Today, the lady in the chair, I'm telling you, if I start to talk about her, give me the whole day. She is the Deputy Inspector General of Government, the Deputy IGG, and she has been with Uganda Human Rights Commission for over 20 years. And she's also a member of the Uganda Women's Law Association. There's a lot to talk about her, but Dr. Okiria Achan is here, and we're going to be having an interesting conversation about what her office is doing. And then some of you don't even know what her office does. So thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you very much for having me, and I'm happy to be part of this conversation, especially in talking about the youth and what the government is doing. Well, government has got so many plans, especially for the youth. You realize that the population census reports, the youth are the majority of the population. And that is the reason why the Inspectorate of Government prioritizes programs involving the youth. Like we're doing awareness programs in the countryside, targeting the youth. We are monitoring to ensure that even the money for PDM benefits them as well as youth, and to engage them in programs like a Myoga and so on. But as the Inspectorate of Government, we are monitoring to ensure that whatever is meant for the youth is not stolen away. And another thing which is pivotal, as the Inspectorate of Government, we are looking at mentoring and coaching and empowering the young people to be able to come out to be better leaders and to be able to demand for accountability from an informed perspective, because they are the future leaders of this country. And for me, when I engage with them, I would like to unpack the values, because the national values is very, very significant in the war against corruption. Someone who is grounded in values, someone who has been raised and brought up with these values and principles cannot commit acts of corruption. So during our work, we discover that most of the cases of corruption we deal with are as a result of degeneration of the values. Someone starts by stealing a pencil or a rubber in
the
school,
classroom,
and then later on today, that person grows up and today is stealing the billions. So as the Inspectorate of Government, we believe that when we skill the youth, when we impart on them the knowledge, when we train them and equip them, then they're able to come up and join the war against corruption. And the youth have been very significant, especially in illuminating the face of corruption. How are they doing it? Through social media. They are sending messages to do with corruption is taking so many rounds, and they're sending that information to us as well, so that as the Inspectorate of Government, we can swing into action and do something about it. Yeah,
Doctor, you make an important point when you say that the youth should be at the forefront of ending corruption, but in an informed way, you know, because we see people doing the right thing but approaching it wrongly. What is the most appropriate way that the youth can help you with policing this corruption?
Well, the youth can play a very significant role, especially in letting the information pass, sharing the information through social media, an informed way with facts. Because fighting corruption is not just about wolokoso or lamentation. You talk about what you know, not a rumor. So when they have information, then they bring that information to the Inspectorate of Government, and we investigate that information, and then we basically deal with the culprits. So the youth play a very significant role, and they are vibrant when it comes to issues to do with social media. They tweet and what, so we follow that information, and it gives us leads on where to go. Like right now, we are monitoring the budget. We're looking at areas of concern. We're looking at possible areas where there could be leakages. So we need to be very keen. And who gives us the information? The youth on the ground. If you look at our community monitoring groups at the grassroots, they are basically giving us information, and the community monitoring groups are majority the youth, the young people, the young energetic population we have in the country.
So Doctor, talking about the community groups that are monitoring, Are these public knowledge? Do the people in the local community know that this is the group that is working with the Igg'S office? Are they approachable? Kindly share.
Well, we have recruited community monitoring groups in the countryside, especially in the refugee hosting districts in the country. But now we are spreading it out. Like the other day, I was in Masaka, and we have got the community monitoring groups, which are playing a very significant part in fighting corruption alongside with the IG. It is common knowledge because we have rolled out transparency, accountability, and anti-corruption in government ministries, departments, and agencies. And this is about quickly detecting and quickly fixing.
Yep.
We cannot quickly detect and fix corruption when the youth are not taking part.
Right.
They're the ones who give us the information.
Right.
The Inspectorate of Government, we only have 16 regional offices in the countryside. So you realize we are not everywhere. So the community monitoring groups basically help to come out and report to us. They send messages. They go through the district officials. Sometimes, if action cannot be taken at that level, then it reaches our office.
How are these young men and women protected? Because the people they're trying to police are people of influence, are people of power. What if they figure out that, okay, you're the one that smoked me out, and I have the resources to wipe you out of existence? How are these people protected?
Well, we have got the Whistleblower Protection Act. When someone brings information to us, we encourage them, first of all, to do anonymous. And leave it to us to investigate. Then if they bring the information to us openly, then we encourage them, we tell them not to blow their cover. So we then protect them, protect their identity, investigate, and when we are successful in getting the proceeds of corruption, 5% goes to the whistleblower. That is according to the Whistleblower Protection Act, yes.
So how does then, is there like a training that happens? How, if you can take us through how you pick out these people and who is eligible to be on this team?
Yes, they pick people of high moral character, people of integrity from within the communities. And the Inspectorate of Government has worked with the civil society organizations and the civil society because they are on the ground. They have helped us in training the community monitoring groups. They've even helped in identifying, but in most cases it's the community themselves because they know that this person is a person of moral character. I think this person can be able to handle these responsibilities. Yes.
Right. Doctor, before we go for a short break, I would like to find out, you are a member of the Anglican Fellowship.
Yes.
Is religion or the church doing enough, or are they contributing to your fight?
Well, I think to a great extent it is, because when you're grounded in religion, and like for me, I am born again. As a born again, there are certain standards expected of me as a child of God, especially in the areas of integrity, truthfulness, honesty, accountability.
Right.
So when I talk about transparency, accountability, and anti-corruption, it is grounded in the Word of God. So I'm supposed to preach it as I walk the talk. I am supposed to demonstrate what I want others to be. So I'm supposed to model the way for others. And it has helped me so much, especially in mentoring the young people, because I know that if I mentor these young people, they will grow up to uphold these values, these Christian values and principles. And even in the Quran, those values are there, of truthfulness, of honesty, of accountability. So when we talk about our national values, it's actually grounded in religion as well. And the Bible says that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. When you are wise and you know the things, then you can talk about it, you can share, you can walk the talk and demonstrate the example you want others to be.
All right. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Words right there from the doctor. Let's go for a quick break, but when we return, we're diving deep into this episode of The Desk. Do not go away, I'm coming back. All right, welcome back. You are still live on the continent's leading intellectual platform, actually the highest platform for solution finding. You guessed right. We are talking about none other than The Desk. And I'm telling you, if it's Wednesday, it's all about The Desk on U24 television. We're broadcasting here at our home at Nile Avenue, Nakasero Hill. I'm talking UBC headquarters, but you are live on U24 television. Now, many thanks to all those who get back to us on social media. Follow us on our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, everywhere. The name is Shadrach Kisame. Hashtag the desk. And today we're talking to the person that has all the answers for people who are trying to make their way with government resources. But before we even go back into the discussion, Doctor, you are a lady, and a few of these chances, even in years past, would not come to people of your gender, and there are girls or the girl child watching you down there, and they're thinking, how did she get there? Can I really get there with this male-dominated? The Shadrachs are speaking so loud, you can't get past them. How did you do it, and how can she be inspired?
Well, just to inspire the young girls out there, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, like we ended. But also, when you work with excellence,
Right.
when you're grounded in your work and your outputs are speaking for themselves, hard work pays. How does it pay? Because everybody will be admiring the fruits of your hard work.
Right.
And when they admire the fruits of your hard work, then somebody will say, no, I think this lady, Lydia, needs to be upgraded. This lady needs to be promoted. This lady needs to be here.
So the people are watching.
Yes, the people are watching. And the beneficiaries of your hard work are also out there. So sometimes you let your results speak for themselves. But I would encourage them in whatever it is, whether you are doing internship, work very hard with excellence. Work very hard with excellence. Today, some people write carelessly. They want other people to edit their work,
Yes.
but they do not pay attention to detail. But I encourage them to work very hard. And when you work hard in everything, put your whole heart in it. There is a verse in the Bible which again says that in whatever you do it with your whole
Yes.
heart. So for me, that has been my journey. Whatever I do it with my whole heart, with my whole energy, and my results speak for themselves. And that is how I've gotten to where I am today. With the grace of God, I started as a volunteer. I worked very hard as a volunteer, and I was able to climb all these other ladders in government, the systems, and through hard work. So hard work pays. And also determination.
Right.
When you're determined to achieve something, then that determination is the driving force. And the fear of the Lord is very significant.
Right.
Yes.
So someone is watching you and she's saying, okay, because at least for her she was lucky, she got an education. Maybe because of certain circumstances, I didn't go to school and I'm doing my small business, tomato business. Can I also become an astute businesswoman and make it to the top?
Yes. In the Bible, the likes of the Josephs and Daniels did not have degrees, neither did they have doctorates.
Yeah.
But they came out as very successful. Why? Because they walked with integrity. They had a spirit of excellence in them, and they had the fear of the Lord. So in that business, remember, it may start small, but the Lord is able to bless you and help you grow and become. It could be a small business you have started.
Yeah.
It could be a poultry farm. We are now talking about PDM. It could be that agricultural project you are doing, but little by little makes a bundle.
Right.
So just continue to work hard and give it your best. With time, you'll be supplying the entire village with the poultry products like eggs and so on. With time, you're going to be supplying the whole village with whatever it is you're farming or with whatever business it is you're doing.
Right.
And you'll be getting lots of money and you'll be one of the successful people. So hard work pays. It may not be in the area of education. It can be in your small business. It can be in the farming, wherever it is. But remember that whatever it is you are doing, do it with your whole heart and continue to trust in God, and God will reward you abundantly.
Right.
Yes.
Doctor, going back to the discussion, let's just talk about PDM a little bit as the body that polices these government projects. Let's talk about PDM, the success rate, because I keep having people on the show and people are lashing out frustration. What? These things are not real. Hey, for you who is policing the thing, other than these guys who are just politicking, what is your overview? What's actually going? What's happening on ground?
Okay, for me, I'm old enough to give an analysis of what is happening today because I've been around this country for some time. I have never seen a government that gives people money, 1 million to everybody to do something wherever they are to better themselves.
Right.
But here it is, we have PDM and we have a Myoga, which is a program to alleviate poverty, to improve people's standard of living wherever they are. So I think it is something that has been appreciated even in the countryside. Like recently I've been monitoring PDM and other government projects like USMID and UGIFT and others. But people in the countryside are appreciative of that program because it is bettering their lives. They've started businesses, things are doing quite well. But also it has got some challenges. Some people are busy stealing. Instead of giving someone exactly the 1 million, they're taking off some and they're saying, well, bank charges and so on. So people are finding it hard to appreciate PDM. But the spirit behind PDM is to better their lives, is to improve their well-being, is to help them to be able to do that 1 acre model, which the president has been talking about for purposes of enriching themselves and improving on their standards of living. The spirit of PDM is very good and it has been very appreciated in the countryside. And basically, the people who are having challenges with it, our office has actually arrested some people who have been intermeddling with that money. I remember when the program began, some people thought it was a cash bonanza. And you remember we had to swing into action in Kitgum. We arrested people. We have had the RDC even interdicted just because of mismanaging PDM. But later on, people got to appreciate. They had to return the money or repay back what they had misused. And now the program is going on very well. A similar case was in Ngora district where people were running off with money. They thought it was a cash bonanza, but we had to chase them and ask them to refund and return that money. In the overall, PDM is a very good and welcomed program, which basically citizens in the countryside are benefiting from, and feedback indicates that everybody who has received is happy and putting it to good use. Yes.
Yeah, because even with the shortcomings, is it the lack of awareness that these people never know that they have money, like for instance in the countryside? Because people, some of them have radios, others do not. Do people actually in the countryside, the last mile person, do they even know that government has set aside 1 million shillings for me?
Well, the responsibility is on the leadership because government has spread this program out, and the parish chiefs are supposed to be the ones to link directly with the people at the lowest level, the parish chiefs. So they are supposed to be educating people, they're supposed to be sensitizing people, they're supposed to be organizing them in the different groups and the circles, and basically showing them what to do, helping them through the projects. And they're community monitors who go to reach out and be able to bring to light what is not clear to the people. So PDM in the overall is a very, very good thing. It's a very positive approach to better the lives of citizens in this country, especially the youth. Like now the census shows that the youth are the majority. So a lot of attention needs to be given in that area. And for me, I call upon the leaders out there to put all their energy towards equipping and empowering the youth so that we shape the country properly, because these are the future leaders. If we can mentor them, if we can coach them, if we can train them, if we can impart in them skills on how to be better leaders, then I think we'll go very far, especially in terms of national development.
All right. Doctor, before I go for a break quickly, as we dive into the budget, because the other day I had a gentleman from CISBAG, the guys that are trying to find out the implementation of the budget, and there's some money that is allocated there for youth, even bidding. There are some thresholds that have said, okay, 10 million, 30 million. If you're not a youth, if you're not a woman, do not come for it. How are you guys? Are you guys directly impacting this, or?
Well, I have not heard about that kind of money for bidding. But I know that there are priority areas for the youth. Yes, for the youth. The priority areas for the youth and for youth empowerment programs and so on. But as the Inspectorate of Government, we are studying the budget. We are looking at the areas which are prone to corruption and risks. And that is the reason why we keep analyzing. We write to permanent secretaries and ask them to give us their budgets, their work plans, and so on. And we get to see what has come and how it is going to be utilized. It helps us basically to be able to get rid of the risks, the detection we're talking about, and quick fixing before it goes out of hand. Yes.
Right. Let's go for a break, and then, Doctor, when we come back, you just point for us a few. how does someone know that this person here is stealing? Because we never know, we just hear on the news. Do not go away, I'm coming back. All right, welcome back. It is The Desk here on U24 television, and I'm telling you, we're having an interesting conversation. There are some of the things that we never knew, the nitty-gritty is in there. And you people sit down in your homes and you think, hey, we are government. No, you are the government. Doctor is trying to make us understand that whatever we hear, we are actually supposed to report it. Doctor, before we go back to the conversation, these people who, the inclusivity of the youth, is it the government is not including the youth, or the youth are staying away?
I think government is including the youth. If you look at the budget and they're saying there is a portion for youth programs, then government is including the youth. But how are the youth leaders embracing this inclusivity? Because there are youth leaders also who have their own priorities. So I think it's the youth leaders now supposed to have consultative engagements with the youth. They're supposed to have a conversation with them so that they come out with their priorities.
Right.
Because the young people need to be involved in taking decisions that affect them. So I think the youth leadership need to be strategic. Bring the youth together, find out what their priorities are. Then you deal with those issues within their priorities in the budget.
Yeah, because the notion of your government, that I find it a lot, you know, in people's like, I need to be a government. So I'm thinking, who is the government?
I think they need a mindset change and look at it like it is ours. It's for Ugandans, not be a government. It's for Ugandans. They need to be taught about patriotism.
Correct.
Yes, patriotism. And again, this takes us back to the national values. If someone is patriotic, then he can have social responsibility, then he can be able to uphold the other values of integrity, accountability, humility, truthfulness, and so on. And that means they can be able to trust each other. So it's not about a government, it's for everybody else who is a Ugandan and who is a citizen of this country. But one thing I would like to talk about is probably the fact that the youth themselves need to be strategic. They need to be purposeful and intentional on things that concern them. And they also need to find out what is it that they can impact in the community. Yes.
Because
what are they bringing out to share with the community? Yes. Yeah,
because I think the lack of strategic vision, maybe. Who is responsible for this? Is it my parent? Is it the community leader? Is it my pastor in church? Who is responsible?
It starts from home. So if values are impacted in a child while at home from the family, then that child grows up with that respect and grows up to uphold those values. And whichever society that child finds themselves in, he will be standing for those values. Like I said earlier, it begins by stealing a pencil or a rubber. If it is not dealt with at that time, then somebody is now today stealing billions of shillings.
I remember they used to beat us for leaking sugar. And then you're like, did you lick the sugar?
There is evidence all over you. But there is a question you asked, how do you know that someone is do you know that someone is actually stealing? Now we have got the lifestyle audit. You look at somebody's income, assets, liabilities over a period of time, and look at the speed at which. Today when people have stolen, they want to run to real estate.
Yes.
So you see the rapid accumulation. Rapid accumulation of investments. And like, but how comes in this year the person earned this, but this year suddenly has ABCD? Is it commensurate? So that's how we detect, but also we rely on the young people out there to report to us. When you look at anything where there is an anomaly and you're suspicious, we also investigate those suspicious investments.
Right, this could be deeper, but do you go ahead? Because there are some people who are so wise that they even invest abroad. What do you do to such guys? Because how do you know?
When they take the investments abroad, we have got the international corporations. We have got the International Association of Anti-Corruption Authorities, the African Association of Anti-Corruption Authorities, and the East African Association of Anti-Corruption Authorities, where the Inspectorate of Government is actually president for these two or 3 years. So in that association, we have got the mutual legal assistance, where we can write to any country within the region to give us information to better our our prosecution cases. We also help them when they write to us. When they investigate, they write to us to give them information.
Also,
so that information can be like, can be part of the evidence they need in their cases.
Right.
Same to us, the information they give us. So sometimes we have situations where Ugandan has gone to Zimbabwe and invested there and invested what is not commensurate to his income. So they report to us, and then we go ahead and investigate and rely on the reports they have shared with us. Yes.
So these thieves are not safe?
They are not safe. There is no thief that is safe under this planet.
They can always find you wherever you are.
Even if someone goes to the UK or whichever part of the world, we have got the international cooperations with those agencies in those different countries through the umbrella arrangements. Yes.
Right. As we wind up the conversation, you know, I like to get it serious, then bring it down to how people can relate. Doctor, I'm going to use the rings on the finger. They are a sign that you're married woman.
Yes.
So I just want you to talk to the young men and women, because as we move, you know, society more and more is discrediting marriage, is discrediting family. People feel like you can move on the way you want. It's okay. As women are even more than men. You know, there's some notions.
Yes.
Let's just talk to us. You know, I'm yet to get married. Someone there yet to get married. Let's just talk about, you know, the importance of marriage and family.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, marriage and family is very, very important, especially if it is blessed by God. What I mean is that if you take your marriage to church and is blessed by God, then you start a union of two people with different backgrounds, of course.
Yeah.
Different backgrounds. So you've got to study each other, and that's why the significance of courtship comes in. You've got to study each other, know what somebody likes, what they dislike, get to know each other as you bond, and eventually get married. And when you're married, then the responsibility of raising children, first of all, you begin with taking care of each other.
Yes.
Then the responsibility of raising children is a responsibility of both parents. Today you find that many people think, no, it's the husband supposed to, but it's a responsibility of both mother and father. And when you marry a friend.
Yes.
You don't marry someone who has just been pangered for you, that you know, I have my sister here. So you marry a friend. So don't allow those arranged things. It's important to study somebody, ensure that this person is, if you're God-fearing, your partner must be God-fearing. Right. Yes, because the foundation of family is very, very important today. It is getting distorted because people are now talking about their rights, and that is why you see some people divorcing. They say they have taken a joke so far, but family plays a very, very significant role in marriage, and that is why when we talk about values, we say it all begins from home, because when you're raising the children, you need to raise them up with the values, with the principles, and enable them to grow up as responsible people. Yes.
Right. So some of the sisters are wondering, Doctor, should he have money?
No, it's not about money. It's about having a willing heart. And no marriage fails when people are in love, either with or without money. Only that people have blown it beyond proportions today. They want to have this lavish wedding where there is a fleet of cars, there is a lavish reception, but the most significant part is the exchange of the vows and getting that blessing in church. Yes.
Amazing. Doctor, we cannot exhaust, you know, your wealth of wisdom in these 30 minutes, but we want to say thank you so much for sparing some time to talk to us. Maybe your parting shots that you would want to leave.
Parting shots, I would encourage the young people out there listening to me to have the fear of the Lord in their hearts and to always be as truthful. Remember the national values, walk with integrity, with humility and the fear of the Lord, and join the war against corruption, because the young people out there have been very significant in illuminating the face of corruption, which has helped us as the Inspectorate of Government in the war against corruption, because we rely on the cases you bring to us. Yes. Thank you very much. All
right. Thank you so much for sparing some time. And you've been a lovely audience. I'm telling you, there's so much that we always learn here on the desk. And for tonight, I want to say good night, good luck, adios for God and my country. May the good Lord bless this beautiful Uganda. Until next week, same place, same time, of course, same host. Good night.